Oh, hi. Yes, it's me, Robbie. That was pretty fake, wasn't it? Okay, well, so I know you've missed me cooking, my cooking video, so I'm going to cook this creamy roasted cauliflower and potato soup. And I'm pretty excited because I'm going to roast a garlic, which I haven't done in a really long time. And I'm going to chop a leek, which I don't think I've ever done. So, if you're interested in this recipe, I'll be happy to share it with you later. I've never made it. So, let me just say, for those of you who are not really all that into cooking, or you haven't, if you're afraid of cooking, just if you can read and follow directions, just do it. And, you'll make stuff you haven't made before. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's my attitude. But then I'm not, like a real cook. I'm just a cook, just somebody who cooks. So, all right, enough of that. So, I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees. I'm going to take this whole garlic bulb and I'm going to cut the top third off. It says, well, I don't know if it's a third, but okay. So this is the idea. You want to have the tops of it exposed. And then you want to take a small little thing that can go in the oven like that. Take a little bit of this off. And I'm going to put some olive oil on it. It says to pour approximately 2 tablespoons over the bulb. Again, I measure. I'm sorry, I'm not talking loud enough, but so I'm putting this olive oil on top of the garlic. I'm going to get a piece of aluminum foil, which it recommends to put over that. Sorry, I didn't get that ready before I started. So I'm just going to put a piece of foil on it. Then also told me to arrange a sliced cauliflower on a rimmed cookie sheet, or rimmed pan, it just says. So I've got these ready to go. Oh, except I need to spritz using my handy Pampered Chef spritzer that doesn't have any fluorocarbons or any of that. So I'm spraying this on the cauliflower a little bit. And then I'm going to let the air out of here. And that's going to help the seals and everything last longer, which isn't what you want to have happen with that. So now, the oven is 10 degrees away from being ready. How's that for timing? 9, 8. Okay, I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to put these in here together. And I'm going to put the timer at about 10 minutes because the recipe says to cook it for 20 to 30 minutes, but to stir midway. So I'm setting that for 10 minutes, and I'll stir the cauliflower to see how it is. Okay. While the garlic and cauliflower are roasting, cook the leeks with a little bit of olive oil over medium heat until softened and beginning to brown, about 5 minutes. Okay, so I knew what a leek looked like, but I'm pretty sure, I certainly don't remember ever cooking with one, so, I might as well say I haven't. So I did, this recipe had a video, so it said to cut the either end off, voila, and then cut it in half long ways. Then they tend to have dirt in them, so I'm gonna be cutting this up, and so now I'm turning it this other way, and chopping it up with my Pampered Chef coated knife. I don't think I want this outer bit. It seems kind of like the outer onion that I don't like. So I'm going to finish just cutting this up like so. to put this stuff in a colander. And I'm going to rinse it off real good. I don't actually see any dirt, so it probably is okay, but I'm going to rinse this off. I don't think you need to watch me do that. But it's easy peasy with my Pampered Chef colander. Don't you just love Pampered Chef? I love Pampered Chef. Okay, I see Scott is rolling up in his truck, so we're about to be, interrupted, but that's okay. So, so I'm going to put this, I've got some olive oil in my RockCroc. I'm using the Dutch oven because I don't really know exactly how much this is going to produce. Well, it says 6 cups, but anyway. So I'm using my Dutch oven instead of my everyday pan. I figure better too big than too small, right? So I'm going to turn this on, let it heat a little bit, and then I'm going to put the leek in there and cook it up. Then I'm going to add, I've got some cut up scallions. It says to have a cup. I didn't have a cup's worth, but that's okay. So that's just my oven telling me it's now at 400 degrees. But again, it's all good. All good. So I'm going to add, I've got to do the potatoes. Right, so this will be fun. Now you've seen me show Scott how to do this before. Scott's coming in the door. Say hi, honey.
Hey, everybody.
Okay, so I'm supposed to have diced potatoes, okay? Cubes of potatoes. So I'm going to use my wonderful mandolin here. I've already peeled 2 potatoes. I've set this at the French fry setting, and I've set it on 6. So we'll see. It's the main reason to do this is so that the pieces are a uniform size, so they cook. Cooking time doesn't need to vary, and everything's pretty much the same. So, and you can't really. Why didn't it cut through there? Well, so these are in a French fry kind of a size and shape, but a small French fry. So I'm putting the other one in here. Got it all. I think this is so great. So now I've got all my cute chopped up potatoes looking like French fries a little bit, but this, like I said, this way it'll all cook. They'll all be done together. It all. You get what I mean. Okay, so I think my oil is heated up. I'm going to carefully put my leeks in the oil. See if I can bring this over here. So, leeks in here. I'm just going to stir those up some, and I want them to brown some. And then I'm going to cook these. It says about 5 minutes. I'm going to add green onions and the potatoes, half a teaspoon of salt, and I've got 3 cups of. It says to use stock. I very seldom have stock because it contains. Well, it boils down to I'm lazy. So I've got bouillon. 3 cups of it. It says to put a cup of it in with the onions, potatoes, and salt, and then cover it and let it simmer for 10 to 15 minutes until the potatoes are tender. All right, so that sounds like something that you do not want to watch, right? So I'm going to pause this. Let me look at you. I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to come back after this various cooking has gone on, okay? And we're back. So, let's see, where are we? So, I did roast the cauliflower. Why roast the cauliflower? Well, the reason is to hopefully give the soup a little bit of depth, more depth of flavor. Now, the garlic, when I took that out, it was a little disappointing looking, and I think that was from the aluminum foil. And the recipe, well, the video that went with the recipe said to put the foil on. So I took the foil off, and I put a little bit more olive oil, and I took or put it back in for another 10 minutes. And it's quite hot now, but I'm too impatient to really let it cool. And now we're going to put the cauliflower in with the potatoes that are totally cooked quickly because they were all the same size and fairly small. So it's not hot anymore, so I'm going to put all of the cauliflower. I'm sorry, I probably am speaking too low through this whole video, and I apologize. So anyway, I'm putting all of the cauliflower into the soup, and I'm going to, let's see, let me let you see that. Got caught. Sorry. So, put the cauliflower in there. Now I'm going to put the rest of the bouillon in there. And get the recipe again. Sprinkle a teaspoon of crushed red pepper. Now, Scott and I like some heat with our food, so let me show you this. So this is our part of my Pampered Chef measuring spoon set. These fit together as such so that you can keep them together. They sit flat. They have a flat bottom, so they sit flat when you put them down. And they fit nicely in most of the spice containers. So it calls for a teaspoon, but I'm going to put 2 because, like I said, we like it like that. And it also had called for a very small amount of lemon pepper, which I was supposed to have put that on the cauliflower. So let me get back to the cauliflower. So when I last left you, I had put the cauliflower in the oven, set it for 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, I took it out. Well, I didn't really take it out, but I slid it, and I used my, this is older than me, so I used this to flip the cauliflower, and then I realized I had left off the lemon pepper, so I sprinkled that on there too. This is kind of personal preference in a lot of ways to me, but so now it says to squeeze the garlic bulb from the bottom to remove the garlic cloves and coarsely chop it. So let me put you back over here. Okay, I'm just turning it out. No, too hot. Okay, I turned it upside down. I hope you can see this. And I've taken these tongs and I'm just going to squeeze it and squeeze out the little cloves. They're coming out pretty well. If I had, let it cool properly, these would just pop right on out, but I just don't want to. I used to eat this stuff like crazy on bread with olive oil. And I still love it. It just doesn't love me as much. And you remember when they had those, one year the gift that was all the rage was the little garlic roaster, a little ceramic, clay thing that you could do just what I did with this ramekin, but it had its own little top also. I don't know if that made a difference, but alright, so anyway, so I've got this garlic. And just to chop it, I'm going to use my manual food processor, which I also love very much. Actually, you know what? I might not have enough to make this worthwhile, but we'll see what happens. Fine. So, actually, that'll even be easier to get out of there. You saw that I just did a few really quick, So I pumped it just a few times. So now I'm going to put this in with this. In a minute, I'm going to put most of this in the blender. So the recipe says to put some of it in the blender, blend it up, and then put it back in. So you have a sort of partially chunky soup, which I think is a pretty good idea. I often just puree the whole thing all together. So I'm going to give this a stir, double check the recipe. It says I could simmer this some more, but I think that's going to be pretty good the way it is. So transfer 2 cups of the soup to a blender and puree until smooth, and incorporate back into the soup. Stir in 2 heavy cream. 2 tablespoons of heavy cream and some. It says Romano cheese. I don't have any Romano cheese. I'm going to just use some Parmesan. It also says to just use a 1/4 cup. But I love my cheese, so I'm putting more like a 1/2 cup. Stirring cream and freshly cracked pepper. Continue to heat on low 2 minutes to meld the flavors. And then I have a few little cauliflower florets and scallions to, garnish with. Did it say to put the cheese in? Put the cheese. Okay, before I take it out and put it. So I put the cheese in now. And give it a stir, a good stir. Okay. And it also says to break up the garlic, the cauliflower some more. I don't really see the point since I'm going to put a good bit of it in the blender, so I'm not going to bother with that. Let me let you see it again. Oh, God. One day I'll be so polished with this, y'all will be amazed. Jeez. So, there it is in the RockCroc. I have it turned off right now. Just so it's not like bubbling away when I don't want it to be. So I've got my Pampered Chef cooking blender here, but I'm not going to use the cooking setting. I'm going to just blend it, puree, whatever. Where are my 4 cup? I put it in here already. So answer me this: do you clean up as you go, or do you make a huge mess and then clean it up afterwards? Well, I have misplaced my nice big measuring cup. That's okay. So I'm just going to use this one to transfer. It said 2 cups, but I'm doing 4 cups. Okay, so add a little bit more of the liquid. Yeah, okay. Because I'm kind of judging how much chunkiness we might want to it. And so that's good. I'm going to put this up here, turn it on, and put the lid on. See me? And right now it says custom blend, which is what I'm going to do. So press the button. It wants to know what speed I want it to go at for between 1 and 9. I'm going to put it at 5 and press the button. It's going to do this for 3 minutes and then it'll stop. Now there is a puree setting. There is a puree setting, but it's a heated puree. I don't really feel like it needs to do that. Plus it'll have to come up to temperature, and so I'm not going to do that. So we're almost done with this. Yeah, so I'm going to hold this up in case you want to make it. And I'll also send it to you if you let me know. I think it might be a little bland for me and Spot, although I did add that extra red pepper, so, you know, hopefully it'll have enough flavor. It seems to me that it would be a great base for a regular just potato soup. And using the cauliflower with it instead of all potatoes is going to make it have less calories, but still have, you know, some consistency and the mixed vitamins. Oh, speaking of vitamins, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to add some protein to this. How about that? Okay, hold a second. So, we have these enrichables, and this is the pea protein. So it's going to add some protein without adding any flavor to this soup. So there's a little scoop with it, and there's a chart on here. I'm just gonna put an amount in there. So it just gives it a boost. And right now, for the month of April in 2022, you can get an Enrichable subscription for 25% off. You can also get Tastables, which has some of our spices. I'll explain that another time. But so I'm gonna this blender. Bring it closer. It has this little cap. I guess all blenders do, but I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to put, I don't know, about 3 scoops of this pea protein. Because as you know, most of you, I'm a pescatarian. And so I only eat fish as a meat source. Okay. I think I need to add a little bit more liquid, especially since I just added that pea protein. So I'm also going to add some of that in there. Put this back on. Take it off and just push the button again. Gonna mix that all up for us. Great video, huh? This is high action. Yeah, exciting stuff. You don't know what might happen next. It could explode. But this is, it's counting up instead of down. I wasn't expecting that. But, so it's been 2 minutes. And actually, I think that's fine. I think it's good. So I'm just going to stop it. Because it looks pretty pureed to me. Whoa, huh? And it's still hot. So now I shall just add it back in with the rest of it. Actually, I have more hopes for this than I initially did. So if I weren't making this video, I would really scrape that out, and I'll go back and do that. Oh, and I was asking you guys, do you clean as you go, or do you make a big mess and clean it up at the end? Or actually, whoever doesn't cook cleans up, right? That's the rule. So when I'm not making videos like this, I am very much a clean as I go. You know, when I don't need the ingredients anymore, I don't, I put them away. And I put lids back on things and throw out empty containers and stuff. And so this said 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add just a bit of the heavy cream because, you know, I have it. Because I read the recipe and I didn't pay attention to the amount, so I bought heavy cream for this recipe. But actually, I can also later make a nice chocolate ganache, or I have some butterscotch chips. I might make a butterscotch ganache. And I have ice cream. Okay. Yeah. So this is looking pretty good, fellas. Let me let you see. So it's got the melted cheese. It's got some lumpy, you know, some of the whole vegetables. Now, the recipe says to put it back on the stove and let it simmer. But of course, I have to taste it. So I'm going to put some in this little bowl. And just go ahead and see if I want to adjust anything. Yeah. Red pepper flakes. Maybe I didn't need quite that much, but it's really, it's not bland. Okay, I take back what I said. Yeah. I think Scott's going to like this. All right, kids. So like I said, let me know if you'd like the recipe. Let me know if you want to know more about any of these products I was showing. And just let me know anything that you want to let me know and ask, you know, ask away. And let's have a party. I think I'm going to do a series on the different kinds of parties that are possible. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys. Red pepper flakes. Bye.